Hey, Eagle fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome to Philadelphia Eagles Now. Happy Monday. You know what we do on Mondays here? We get in the latest Eagles news and rumors. Some fun stuff today happening on the show. Let's jump into the safety position, which is the most interesting position on the football team right now. And not most interesting in a good way, because that would be the wide receiver or defensive line group. It's the most interesting in not a bad way, just not the best way, right? It is the weakest position group on the Philadelphia Eagles, and the battle right now for both starting safety spots is really going to start heating up almost a month from today, or a month from yesterday, whenever training camp starts up there at the NovaCare Complex on July 26th. However, we have a new endorsement for one of the safeties, and that is Marcus Epps, endorsed by none other than former Philadelphia Eagles starting safety and Super Bowl champion Malcom Jenkins. Yes, so Epps, of course, is in a battle for one of the two safety spots, and he was really going to be the leader in the clubhouse over K'Von Wallace until the signing of Jaquiski Tartt last week. Tartt comes in as more of a savvy veteran, played a lot more starts at safety over the course of his career, and now is the number one competition again for Epps. And even though this has happened, Malcom Jenkins, who is retired from the National Football League, played for the Saints, and then for us, and then back to the Saints, has officially come out and endorsed Epps and really gave some good insight into what we can expect from a guy like Epps if he wins the starting job. So Jenkins said this, quote, "When I was there, he was a player that was behind me and Rodney McLeod, but was rising fast on the depth chart. Somebody who's physically gifted and smart enough to understand defenses and where he needs to be in alignments and leverage. I think he soaked up a lot of game, and that was one of the things I recognized about him early was, he's somebody who wants to know how he can become the best player he can. He'd stick around late after meetings and ask questions and watch extra tape, and so for me, I know that just because of those things, he's going to be fine. Think he's got range, he tackles well. As long as he continues to develop his game and what he does well and tries to be the best Epps he can be, I think he'll be fine," end quote. So nice little endorsement there from Malcom Jenkins. Now, just because Malcom Jenkins says that Epps, is going to be a very good safety, it doesn't guarantee he's going to be a very good safety, but it at least is a good indication of who and what you're going to get from a guy like Marcus Epps. I think Epps should have the edge right now just because he's been in not only the Gannon system for the past year, but been a Philadelphia Eagle for the past couple of seasons. He knows the defense. He understands playing alongside guys like Darius Slay, playing in this defense in general, and I think that right now he should be the starter if the games were to start tomorrow. However, Tartt does have a little bit of an edge in terms of being a little bit harder hitting, I think, and obviously the veteran who's played in a lot of big games. I think back to what the 49ers have done during the course of Jaquiski Tartt's career, a lot of playoff games, a Super Bowl. I mean, they have been, and really he has been, in a lot of situations that you expect Philadelphia to hopefully be in 2022. Now, the beauty of this is that the best man's going to win, so there's no concern in terms of, oh, well, what if Epps is better than Tartt, but Tartt's going to start? It's not how it's going to happen. I mean, the best player is going to start on this entire defense, and there could be a rotation as well. I mean, Philadelphia has no guarantee you have to start Jaquiski Tartt for every single game. If Epps takes a little bit of time to kind of come into his own this season, or vice versa with Tartt versus Epps, then you can go ahead and swap one for the other. But at least it's good to see that Epps is getting some love and has been putting in the work. Perhaps this is his year. If not, then they got some incentive there with Jaquiski Tartt to potentially be the other starting safety come week one. But a lot of time. Let me just emphasize that. A lot of time, a lot of battles, and definitely a battle to keep an eye on. Add break, pin comment down below. Who starts, Epps or Tartt? Take your best guess right now. Type E down below for Epps or type T down below for Tartt. I want to get into something I saw over the weekend, and I wanted to mention this because I think a lot of Eagle fans are kind of in the dark on this one. Throw up Cam Jurgens' bio right now. So you know Cam Jurgens has not signed his rookie contract yet? I had no idea. Like, I literally was like, well, all the Eagles are probably signed, and so what am I reading here on this on Twitter? And then I read into it, and sure enough, Cam Jurgens, the second-round draft pick, is not signed. He does not have a contract. Now, he has been practicing, he has been playing, and so rookies kind of have a built-in protection if they were to get injured pre-signing their rookie contract, but the majority of NFL players, especially early rounders in the first and second round, have signed their contract, and I was like, wow, what is going on here? Well, Fanside had a good write-up on this, and I want to share it with you guys because I was not educated on this, and now I think you guys are going to be educated on it as well. Throw out the quote from Fanside, quote, "Jurgens likely remains unsigned because the Eagles needed to maintain cap flexibility heading into minicamp. While sure, there may be some logistical issues pertaining to Jurgens' contract, you may recall Landon Dickerson having similar issues last summer, His status as an unsigned player never impacted his ability to make it to the NovaCare Center or eventually start for the team, end quote. They also would go on to say that perhaps there's some of the lingering injury issues from back during college. There's some injury clauses in the contract that he might want, the Eagles might not want there, vice versa. This did happen with Dickerson, though. It's kind of weird that guards, for whatever reason, in Philadelphia take a little bit longer to be signed, but he should be just fine. They also mentioned that the signing of Jaquiski Tartt took a little bit of money away, and so now they might have to change a little bit of contract structuring for some other guys to free up space. The emphasis here is that even though he is unsigned, which again, I don't know why it popped up on my Twitter feed this weekend for me to go, oh wow, why is he unsigned? He will be signed by the start of training camp. It just is a little bit slower for whatever reason. So we'll keep an eye on this, but I do think that overall, Jurgens is going to be a very, very good player in this offensive line. It's a packed offensive line. It's an offensive line that is really geared to be the best that it can possibly be in the National Football League. I saw an article that was asking, is the Eagles' second-team offensive line better than some starting O-lines in the NFL? And the answer to that is also yes, because you have guys like Andre Dillard there. Obviously, Jurgens right now is a second-teamer who's going to work his way to potentially being a starter. You guys say Urbig. I mean, it's going to be a very, very... Not Urbig, sorry, Driscoll. It's a good offensive line top to bottom. But he is unsigned right now, but we do expect him, at least I expect him, to eventually get signed, and he will by the start of training camp. And then the battle is going to ensue, much like with Tartt and Epps, the battle with Seumalo and Dickerson to potentially be one of the starting guards. Okay, quickly, before we get into, I think, a very interesting look at not only training camp, but Alvin Kamara, which I'm explaining, we're talking Alvin Kamara here on today's show. There is, right now, still a deal on the two-pack t-shirt combo, 40% off. The off-season is your time to go ahead and get Eagles gear. Do with their friends at chatsports.com/Eagles t-shirt. That is the link that you need. It's on your screen and also down below in the description box. And you get both of these t-shirts, which, again, are 40% off. So you're really getting two shirts for almost the price of one, like $1.25. So if you don't have Eagle gear yet, or you have Eagle gear, you need to refresh it like I do. Go down below and jump in on this t-shirt combo. Chatsports.com/Eagles t-shirt. The link will also be down in the description box. Okay, a couple more things to run through here. Let's start with Alvin Kamara. Now, why are we talking about Alvin Kamara? Are they going to trade for him? No, they're not going to trade for him. Apparently, according to multiple reports, Alvin Kamara is facing a 6-game suspension potentially for the felony battery charge he was allegedly charged with during the NFL Pro Bowl up in Vegas. It was kind of a glanced over story, kind of the end of football season, but Kamara looked like he's going to be receiving a 6-game suspension from the National Football League. Now, why does that matter? It matters because the Eagles have the Saints' first-round draft pick. Remember the trade that happened a little bit before the NFL draft? Philadelphia now holds 2 in 2023, and 1 is the Saints. So with Kamara potentially out the first 6 games, that is a chance for the Saints to lose extra games and give Philadelphia an even better overall draft pick. So we'll hit this quickly and briefly because obviously it's not until April of next year, but all Bird fans should cheer against the Saints this season. I know that the Saints are kind of annoying because they always claim that had the Minnesota Miracle or Minneapolis Miracle not happened, the Saints would have beaten the Eagles in the NFC Championship game, blah, 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 dumb stuff there. But if that was not incentive enough to root against the Saints, now you have a chance to get an even higher draft pick. And so with Jameis Winston maybe being the starting quarterback coming from an injury, Dennis Allen, the new head coach, Kamara missing the first 6 games, if the Saints can be bad, you have a potential another top 10 draft pick for the Philadelphia Eagles in 2023, where hopefully they can load up on more talent. If Hurts plays well this year, you go get maybe a cornerback, you go get maybe a pass rusher, you go get maybe, a safety. Like, I don't know what they're going to do. The needs are going to be revealed during the season, but it's very, very good for Eagle fans. The Saints do continue to lose or do lose this year, so definitely cheer against them. Okay, plenty more content coming up later on this week. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel because we have great coverage all year long. I mean, when's the last time you were watching SportsCenter and they talked about the Eagles in the past month? Like, they don't. Like, literally never talk about the Philadelphia Eagles because it's the offseason. And so we try to give you guys all the latest and greatest Eagles content here at Chat Sports. We're at 30,329 subscribers. If you guys like the channel, go down below and hit that red subscribe button. Help us grow. We would greatly appreciate it. Also, give the video a thumbs up as well because it's Monday and you're probably bored at work. And so at least spread some cheer by giving the video a thumbs up. All right, let's end with important training camp dates. These came out over the past couple of days. No surprises here, but just so that way you're aware. We are less than a month, by a day, but less than a month from reporting to training camp. Both rookies and veterans are both reporting the same day. There are some teams where rookies report a couple of days early. Not Philadelphia this year. They both report on July 26th, meaning that practices will kind of get started on 27th, 28th, 29th once they go ahead and get settled in there. And so that's when the fun begins. We are less than a month away. It's going to be very, very quick by the time July gets here, and then obviously very, very quick by the time you actually get to training camp, where really the meat potatoes of the offseason begins, because you have actual position battles, actual 11-on-11s. They actually start hitting All those things are going to be good, and we'll have full coverage here on the channel. Your first open practice, and really your only open practice, is going to be August 7th. So there's been a reduction in open practices since COVID, and that remains kind of in place this year. Not due to COVID, just because I think they're reducing this. I don't think a lot of people go to these things. I've never been to an Eagle open practice. I've been to other open practices, but August 7th is your open practice date. And your first preseason game is the Jets preseason game on August 12th. Your first chance to see Philadelphia, where the starters will play, a series and then be done, and then you get the backups in there the rest of the time. So boom, there are your important dates for training camp. Let me ask you guys this: have you ever been to a training camp? Maybe an Eagle training camp, a non-Eagle training camp? Have you ever been to an NFL training camp? Let me know. I've been to two. I've been to Carolina Panther training camp when I worked and lived in Carolina, in North Carolina. I've been to Atlanta Falcon training camp as well, obviously living here in Atlanta, both for media situations. They're fun. I mean, they're a little bit overrated in my opinion because, they're just practicing. Not a lot happens. You can get close, up close and personal, and I was a media member, so I got to kind of be even closer than most people. Meeting like Ron Rivera, Luke Kuechly at Carolina Panther training camp, Matt Ryan, other people at Falcon training camp, but they're a little overrated. I'd rather go to a preseason game than an open training camp, but that is just me. Let me know, though, if you guys are going to go to a training camp. All right, ultimately today on our Philadelphia Eagles news and rumor video, make sure you guys get your mailbag questions in down below right now. Hashtag Eagles to be a part of that. Of course, if you get them in earlier, a better chance of getting selected because I start to populate these as they come in into my little Google Doc of your guys' questions. Must be a subscriber as well, so be sure to go down below and subscribe. We'll do these videos, or at least a mailbag video later on this week, but plenty more content happening tomorrow and Wednesday and Thursday, almost every day of the week as we do here on Philadelphia Eagles Now. For the channel, Thomas Mott signing off. Enjoy the rest of your day.